Alright, proceed front, proceed going check.
Isang ina-apply ako, Semcor Marin yung isang ina-apply ako. Ayun.
Ba't ko lang YouTube?
Yeah, PUBO.
The government pala ito.
Testing to left. Sa ganda na kulay. Ganda na kulay ng dilaw.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Parade Regimental Sergeant Major for National Day Parade 2019 is Master Warrant Officer David Ling Tawe, Master Chief, Clearance Diving Group, Naval Diving Unit.
Boys! Sode! Yo! Dula! Sanja! Boys! Dar-kiri ng kanan! Cepat-cepat! Lun!
This year, we commemorate the Singapore Bicentennial, 200 years since the Stamford Raffles first arrived on our shores. As we celebrate how far Singapore has come, we must not forget our shared commitment to building a strong and resilient Singapore through the 6 pillars of total defense: military, civil, economic, social, psychological, and the new digital defense. Marching now at the forefront are the SAF contingents from our Singapore Army, Navy, and Air Force. They are followed by the Singapore Police Force and the Singapore Civil Defense Force. Joining them for the first time is the SAF and Home Team volunteer contingents. Marching in now from the rear of Padang are the contingents representing the social and economic sectors of our nation. Together, these civilian organizations and companies showcase how far Singapore has progressed, both socially and economically, over the years. We now see the uniformed youth organizations formed by the students. These contingents represent our youth's resolve to defend Singapore and their commitment to Singapore's progress. Since its launch in 1984, Total Defence has rallied Singaporeans together in responding to challenges that threaten Singapore's independence and well-being. Total Defence involves every Singaporean playing a part, individually and collectively, to build a strong...
And I'm very happy to be given this opportunity. I feel very nervous, but I can't wait to show Singapore what we have been training so hard for.
我很开心代表工会和大家在一起。我每年参加，因为我喜欢看到我的老朋友。虽然有时很累，但这是我对新加坡的小小的贡献。
I am an SAFVC volunteer. I'm also a school teacher and a mother of 3. Serving in the Navy has allowed me to contribute to keeping Singapore's waters safe and open for international trade.
It's amazing to see how the parade has come together to what it is today. Our people are our strength. This is what we can achieve when we stand by one another. Singapore's journey has not been easy, but we have always moved forward as one united people. This is the spirit that we ultimately want to capture in this year's parade. Happy birthday, Singapore.
Ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander, accompanied by the women, police, pipes and drums, will now take over command of the parade from the parade regimental sergeant major. gentlemen, marching in now are the 35 regimental colors, the 3 state colors, and Guard of Honor contingents. The colors are military flags that originated as a means of identification in battle. In the past, when colors were carried on active service, they stood as a rallying point and the scene of their last stand. Because of their importance, capturing an enemy's colors was considered a great honor, while losing one's colors was a severe humiliation. Hence, a group of soldiers the Colors Party was assigned to protect the colors whenever they were brought into battle. The significance of colors today is more symbolic in nature. They are the embodiment of an institution's history, honor, and tradition. The Colors Regimental Sergeant Major is Second Warrant Officer Nyo Kim Chu. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's gun salute will be executed by the soldiers from the 24th Battalion Singapore Artillery at Merlion Park. Watch as the M3G floating rafts operated by men from the 35th Battalion Singapore Combat Engineers moves into position for this year's gun salute. Contingents are proudly formed by the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Singapore Police Force. The parade commander this evening is Lieutenant Colonel Ong Kok Cheng, Commanding Officer, 11th C4I Battalion. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as the parade pays its compliment to our Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong. This is a simulation.
Paris, Sunday, yeah. Paris, hormat Perdana Menteri, hormat senjata. Paris, Russo, senjata.
Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong will now take his seat. Prime Minister Lee is Singapore's 3rd Prime Minister. This is his 15th appearance at the National Day Parade as the country's Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Paris. Boris, Sonamde! Read!
Next up, the combined drum band formed by the SAFS SNCC, together with the youth from the Association for Persons with Special Needs Tanglin School, will execute an exciting performance.
Boris, Sonny! Yeah!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome our reviewing officer, Minister for Defense, Dr. Ng Eng Hen. Ladies and gentlemen, look up to the sky above the stage. 5 F-15 SG Eagles from the Republic of Singapore Air Force will execute a spectacular bomb burst in a salute to the nation. And here they come! Ladies and gentlemen, our reviewing officer will now inspect the parade. As a mark of respect, the 25-pounder guns will fire in salute to the reviewing officer. This year, the gun salute is executed by the gunners from the 24th Battalion, Singapore Artillery, on board the M3G floating rafts operated by the 35th Battalion, Singapore Combat Engineers at Merlion Park. on, Singapore. Let's wave our flags to our reviewing officer.
Hindi tayo nakakuha ng bag. Sila meron.
Puro pagkain lang naman yun. Mga chichir.
The guard of honor will now execute the feu de joie, or fire of joy, to celebrate our nation's birthday.
Kanan komandan akan tembak Fudiswa. Isikan blue. Habai. Tembak. Isikan lagi. Habai. Tembak. Isikan lagi. Habai. Tembak. Kawalan komandan datang senjata. Kawalan komandan lusuh senjata. Minister, I have a commission to see and thereafter march off the parade, sir.
Our minister will now take his seat.
It's a brand new day, brand new story. I remember the way it used to be. We've come so far. I want to sing a song for Singapore. With every generation, there's more to be grateful for.
Hey, Sanande! Please!
Ladies and gentlemen, as a tribute to the nation's 54th birthday, the RSAF has put together a special aerial display. Watch as the men and women of the RSAF prepare their magnificent flying machines for this year's aerial display. First up, flying in from your right in a big formation is the RSAF's newly acquired A330 multi-role tanker transport aircraft, escorted by two F-15SG Eagles. Up next from your front, two of our state-of-the-art multi-role F-15SG Eagles will perform a challenging aerial display, showcasing precision and team excellence. Get ready to witness this breathtaking shackle maneuver as they cross each other at close range. Presenting the shackle. RSAF's aerial display with a vertical climb, signifying progress and prosperity for our nation. Above all, our home, our Singapore!
First, ready, go! Kawalan Kombatan Jap, Yang Lai, Jula, Senja, go! Baris akan berjalan keluar dalam masa cepat. Kawalan kehormatan dahulu, kawalan kehormatan ke kanan. Yang lain, ke kiri dan ke kanan. Ho! Sing!
Colors have a long history, dating back to the early 17th century. Today, colors are retained as symbols of tradition in modern armed forces to promote cohesion, esprit de corps, and instill a sense of pride and loyalty in the unit. Ladies and gentlemen, we now see the Colors Party forming up for the traditional march past, together with the 4 Guard of Honor contingents. A total of 38 marching contingents are featured in this evening's parade. Standing proudly behind them are the 6 contingents from the SAF and home team, 10 contingents from the uniform groups, 16 socio-economic organizations, and the combined band. Together, the contingents represent the country's commitment to the 6 pillars of total defense: military, civil, social, economic, digital, and psychological defense. Colors are awarded for achievement in the fields of combat, training, administration, efficiency, and service to the community. As a mark of respect, please rise as the Colors Party marches past you. Is the parade commander, Lieutenant Colonel Ong Kok Cheng. The 3 state colors are in the forefront, followed by the parade regimental Sergeant Major, Master Warrant Officer David Ling Ta Wei. Following behind are the 35 regimental colors, with the colors Regimental Sergeant Major, 2nd Warrant Officer Nyo Kim Chu. Army Guard of Honor contingent is next, formed by men from the 1st Commando Battalion. It is led by Major Benson Chow Wen Lien. Attention now to the Navy Guard of Honor contingent, formed by men from the Naval Diving Unit. This contingent is led by Major Kwa Wai Xiong Darryl. We now see the Republic of Singapore Air Force contingent, comprising men from the Air Power Generation Command. The 3rd Guard of Honor contingent is led by Major Chua Tek Hao. Finally, the 4th Guard of Honor contingent is the Singapore Police Force contingent. Forming the contingent are men from the Police Training Command of the Singapore Police Force, led by Deputy Superintendent of Police Lee Ting Wei. Marching towards you are our uniformed services from the SAF and Home Team. Leading the way is the Singapore Army contingent, led by Captain Shaman Pandian. And the Republic of Singapore Navy contingent, led by Military Expert 4, John Waiter. Next, we have the Republic of Singapore Air Force contingent, led by Military Expert 4, Gabriel Low. And the Singapore Police Force contingent, led by Assistant Superintendent of Police, Tang Wei Wei Nicholas. Keeping pace are the Singapore Civil Defence Force contingent, led by Captain Chia Wai Kim. And featured for the very first time in NDP is the SAF and Home Team Volunteer contingent, led by Assistant Superintendent of Police, Volunteer Paul Xia Ching Sun. Next, we have the uniformed groups leading the National Cadet Corps Land is Cadet Lieutenant Kevin Gabriel Lee, and the National Police Cadet Corps led by Senior Cadet Inspector Liu Ziming. Behind them are Girl Guides Singapore led by young adult Luo Chia-hui, and the Girls Brigade Singapore led by First Warrant Officer To Yi-ling. Next, the Boys Brigade in Singapore, led by Senior Cadet Lieutenant Jonas Low Kai-zi. And the Singapore Scout Association, led by Venture Scout Richard Chin Ree Jae. The next two contingents are the National Cadet Corps Air and Sea, led by Cadet Lieutenant Jared Low Hao Yuan. And the Singapore Red Cross, led by Senior Volunteer Officer Roshakel Sholihan. Finally, we have St. John Brigade, Singapore, led by Corps Staff Officer Grade 6, Chua Hoon Kai, and the National Civil Defence Cadet Corps, led by Cadet Lieutenant Noor Amelia binti Mohammed Khalid. Our social and economic groups are up next. Celebrating 50 years since its modernization seminar is the National Trades Union Congress, led by Mr. Chen Bai Dao. And the PAP-PCF, led by Mr. Alex Yo Sheng Chai. They are followed by Semcorp Marine Limited, led by Mr. Stephen Tang Peng Han. And Keppel Group, led by Mr. Adam Johan Iskandar. The third block of contingents comprises Singtel, led by Mr. Ko Chung Tek Terry. And PUB, Singapore's National Water Agency, led by Mr. Chin Wei Jie Edwin. Close behind them are OSIM International Private Limited, led by Mr. Samuel Cheng. And the People's Association Youth Movement, led by Ms. Chen Liaoyu Eileen. The fifth block of contingents comprise the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, led by Mr. Terence Kopp, and Wan Changi, led by Mr. Tun Jie Yao. They are followed by One Team Singapore, led by Mr. Christopher Chia K. Yong, and Kofu Group Limited, led by Mr. Chu Teng We now see National Healthcare Group, led by Dr. Sim Chin Sing Evan. And PSA International Private Limited, led by Mr. Chan Cheng Teng. And the final two socio-economic contingents are Liho Team, led by Mr. Dean Ko Yu Yao. And Nanyang Polytechnic, led by Mr. Wong Po Se. The marching band for the parade and ceremony is provided by the combined band. The band comprises members from the Singapore Armed Forces Band, Singapore Police Force Band, Singapore National Cadet Corps Command Band, and the National Police Cadet Corps Band, and is led by Band Conductor Military Expert 4, Ignatius Wong Kerbin, and Drum Major Military Expert 2, Ronnie Kwek Boon Kiang.
When the British announced that they were pulling out in 1967, Singaporeans were anxious and unprepared. Dr. Bokesi knew that we had to quickly build up the SAF in order to defend ourselves. The preparation and training was very tough, but we wanted to make it work. At the end, when we drove the 18 tanks down Padang, we heard the crowd cheering, and there was a huge sense of achievement and gave everyone the confidence that the SAF was ready. Each year, I could see new equipment within the SAF. But the one thing that did not change is the commitment and fighting spirit of our people. This is our strength in defending Singapore.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you the NDP Mobile Column 2019, representing our strength, our Singapore. Commanding this year's column is Senior Lieutenant Colonel N.S. Tan Zi Hien. By his side is one of the participants of the very first mobile column in 1969, Brigadier General retired Colin Tessera. Leading the column is Singapore's very own main battle tank, the Leopard 2 SG. With their high mobility, devastating firepower, and armored protection, our Leopards spearhead our army. The upgraded Leopard 2 SG increases the situational awareness and initiative of our vehicle commanders, making the Leopard 2 SG one of the finest tanks in the world. Introducing the Army's first fully digitalized armored fighting vehicle, the Hunter. Equipped with 360-degree view and remote control weapon system, the Hunter allows the crew to operate closed hatch. With its strong firepower and versatility, the Hunter is one of the most feared vehicles on the battlefield. Closely behind the Hunter are the Bionics armored fighting vehicles. Together, their high mobility, protection, and firepower allows them to dominate the front line. Next up is the versatile Bronco all-terrain tracked carrier. It comes in several variants to meet a range of operational demands and is designed to maneuver in different types of terrain. Our next vehicle is the Terex infantry carrier vehicle. The Terex allows our infantry troops to maneuver swiftly and safely across the battlefield. In the next packet are the new Belrex protected combat support vehicles. The Belrex provides better protection and stronger firepower for our soldiers. Behind Behind the Bell Rex is the light strike vehicle Mark II from the Guards. In addition to its impressive mobility, it is equipped with anti-tank missiles and grenade launchers. Up next are our Army intelligence troopers. They deploy their unmanned aerial vehicles to collect information in the battlefield. From the artillery formation, we have the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System. Its GPS-guided rockets has a range of 70 kilometers. Next up is artillery's latest vehicle, the Safari Weapon Locating Radar. Equipped with the latest early warning technology, it protects the Army against artillery fire. Leading the combat engineers is the L2 Armored Engineer Vehicle, capable of overcoming a variety of obstacles. Other assets include the L2 Armored Vehicle Launch Bridge, allowing heavy vehicles to cross wide gaps. Closely behind are the F3G float bridges, which ferry our forces across water bodies. Spot the new addition to the combat engineers, the Mobility Support System, which allows the crossing of our tracked and wheeled vehicles over soft ground. From the signals formation are the VSAT subscriber detachment. These vehicles facilitate communication between different units for the Army's various operations, such as humanitarian missions. Now leading the Combat Service Support Command, we have the new wheeled recovery vehicle with enhanced recovery capabilities. Next up are the new Ford F550 Combat Ambulance, which is equipped with advanced life support equipment. For the first time at NDP, we have the Aster 30 air defense system from the Republic of Singapore Air Force. This next generation system is more advanced, shoots further, and protects Singapore against aircraft and missiles. The Aster 30 leads the MP-Star radar and Spider air defense system to safeguard Singapore's skies.
Over the years, the SAF and Home Team have contributed to global peace and security through peace support, counter-piracy, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief operations. Our brave men and women in uniform have flown our Singapore flag high, going above and beyond to make Singapore proud. They have made a real difference in people's lives and have earned the recognition of our international partners. Without hesitation, they have answered the call of duty at short notice, serving in foreign lands and seas in harsh conditions, far away from home and loved ones. This is our strength in action.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the second segment, showcasing our strength in action. Safeguarding our waters 24/7 is the Republic of Singapore Navy. Here comes the specialized marine craft, which is actually one of the smallest ships in the Navy. Making its debut appearance is the combatant craft medium, deployed for maritime counterterrorism and maritime special operations. Deployed for counter-piracy operations overseas, such as in the Gulf of Aden, we have the Protector unmanned surface vessel. Next, the Scan Eagle UAV acquires enemy targets far over the horizon. Our frigates will then launch their Harpoon missiles to take out surface enemies. Targets in the air are no match for our surface-to-air Aster missiles, while underwater, our submarines fire torpedoes to strike their targets. Leading the next packet is Major Alan Lowe, a veteran of our humanitarian assistance and disaster relief deployments. Spot the Water Purification Unit and the Lark 5 from the Singapore Army. Behind them are the SCDF's DART Urban Search and Rescue Vehicle, which has been deployed in various overseas peacekeeping operations. Rounding out this segment is our Mobile Column Sergeant Major, Master Warrant Officer Neo Boon Kui. Look out for the Mobile Column as it rolls down to the heartlands on the 10th of August.
Against an uncertain global landscape, the threats we face are becoming more complex. They can strike unexpectedly, threatening our loved ones and our way of life. Over the years, the SAF and Home Team have strengthened their integration to enhance readiness and provide joint security responses in the air, land and sea. National agencies and individual Singaporeans have also played their part in building Singapore's ability to overcome any emergency. Whatever challenges lie ahead, we can be assured that the SCF and Home Team stand ready to respond to any security threat and that Singaporeans will rally together towards securing our Singapore.
The third segment is titled Securing Our Singapore, where we salute our security forces for keeping Singapore safe. Making a grand appearance are the motorcycles from the SAF and Home Team. Next are the Peacekeeper Protected Response Vehicles, which enhances our island defense operations. At the tail of the packet are vehicles from our CBRE engineers, capable of neutralizing any bomb threat. From the Singapore Police Force are the fast response and emergency response cars, which are first to react to any public security incident. Look out for the police tactical vehicle, which boasts greater versatility and protection for our policemen. Rounding up this segment are vehicles from the Singapore Civil Defence Force. In the lead is the 6th generation light fire attack vehicle, also known as the Red Rhino. Following behind are the unmanned firefighting machine and a series of robots that are able to detect and fight fire autonomously. Look out for the all-new dark amphibious vehicle, which can be used for coastal firefighting and water rescues. Supporting them are the fire medical vehicles that combine both firefighting and medical capabilities. The final vehicle is the upgraded combined platform Ladder 60, used for operations involving high-rise buildings. With its upgraded capabilities, the SCDF protects and saves lives for a safer Singapore.
National service began in 1967 amidst a period of uncertainty and hardship. The Merdeka generation were the early batches to serve national service and grew up during Singapore's struggle for independence. We salute our Merdeka generation for building national service to become a key national institution. As we move forward, every generation of NS men continues to build on our pioneers' commitment and will to defend our country. Every one of us must play our part in safeguarding our home, our loved ones, and our way of life. As we live the dreams of our pioneers, let us continue to be pioneers of our future. For this is our strength, our Singapore.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we invite those from the Merdeka generation seated amongst you to please stand up and join us in this final segment. Rounding up the mobile column are 39 of our Merdeka generation servicemen who have stepped forward in the early years of Singapore's independence to lay the foundations of our key national institutions. Their unwavering commitment to defense have kept Singapore safe and secure over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, our Merdeka generation. We salute them for their dedication and service to our nation. We will continue their spirit to defend our country. This is our strength, our Singapore!
dari orang-orang laut di sini.
我的老爸是1947年对金门历史坐迄阵来新加坡。
My ancestors came from the state of Bihar in northern India.
From ancestor born in Singapore.
Yo soy bisabo beng tan tuga.
My grandfather is a Dane from Denmark.
I'm Singaporean.
I think I'm a Roja.
I'm from Wetlands, 1955. Na Kerala dari Singapore.
Orang laut di sini.
Bali wedding is just like one word, very grand, extravagant, full of colors. It's just like the whole kampung that will come together and it's just like a mini NDP.
Kami bernikah pada 1 September tahun 1932 bertempat di Upper Ring Road.
Dalam majlis tu, makcik rasa bahagia sangat tengok saudara-saudara makcik semua, kaum keluarga jauh-jauh pun datang. Alhamdulillah sampai saat ini makcik rasa bahagia sangat dan itulah hari yang paling bahagia bagi kita.
During Chinese New Year, my mother would light the firecrackers. My father would stand behind. In our new pajamas, we will be lighting and playing with firecrackers, and the floor will be all red. Indian folklore
encompasses thousands of years of culture, religion, traditional games and the arts. What strikes me most about the rich Indian folklore is its vibrancy.
Singing is Merayu Kalacharam, Vilaki Nulkaram, Mahabharatam, Ramayanam, Silapadikaram, ஆகியவை சார்ந்தோம். பரதநாட்டியம், கர்நாடக இசை இந்த ரெண்டுமே நமது மரபை பேசுகிறது. During Christmas, my grandmother used to make a special dish called fame. It used all the parts of the pig that was not wanted. And it has become my favorite dish because we only ate it at Christmas.
My favorite food is suji cake. Like we eat it at every celebration, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, and even funerals. My Nana's devil's curry is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. It's the most unique thing, and no matter how many times I try to make it, it will never taste the same.
Our ancestors were strangers when they arrived on the shores of the Singapore River. People from all walks of life came together and they bring so much heritage and culture with them. Despite their differences, they managed to find common ground and begin to build a future for themselves and their families. And as they sat down in this year, they created a place all called
Bravo.
Parang totoo na yung ano nila. Grabe ang ano nila. Bulog ako sa
The day the judge announced that I'm going to be sentenced for a long period of years, and I thought that was the end of my life. It's like a death sentence. As it is, my life was really like a toilet bowl. And with a prison conviction, it's not going to get any better. And there was a time that I thought, should I just end my life at this point of time?
During the war, the silence is off. We have to run our shelter wherever we are. The Japanese are very, very scary. If you are done wrong, they cut off your hand, they cut off your head. All of us are very, very scared.
Of course, I was afraid. In 1985, there was no information at all about HIV, how it is spread and how it is not spread. There was a real sense of fear. All the doctors, nurses, and staff were so frightened that nobody would take up the role.
Music has always been my biggest passion. I love rapping. So when I found out last year that I have vocal cord palsy and I will lose my voice, my world just collapsed.
Running through my bones, heart racing, rip through my soul. Start pacing, got no control. Hold on, you're not all alone. No, they will never stop me. Oh no. No, they can never do it. No, no. They can never do it. Set it free.
I won't just survive. Oh, you will see me thrive. Can't write my story.
See the cracks on my knuckles while I conquer the struggle. I'm never gonna stop till my knees start to buckle. Rise from the rubble, stand tall with my own feet for the night. I will fight.
So if
during the war, we had wake up 4 a.m. in the morning to queue for the food. Sometimes there's no more left. Neighbors will share the food with us, and my aunties and my cousins and all, we make great cakes to go to the quarters to share the cakes. That's how we survive.
I remember my patient who was crying profusely. He cried, and his tears filled my shoulder pads. I felt so helpless. I didn't know what to do. I gave him a hug, and he felt so relieved. These hugs I learned from my mom. When I was a child, she comforted me, and now I use it on my patients.
There was total silence from my family because I knew that they didn't want to have anything to do with me. And then there was this officer I was sitting down with him and he was talking to me and he understood the struggles I was going through. He made arrangements for an open visit where I could actually meet my family, my daughter especially. I remember that Monday morning, I could hold her hand and just say, "Will you forgive me?" And that brought reconciliation to the family. And that carried me through all these years, even to now.
I told him he has two things, willpower and willpower hands. Will Smith. He also once told me a story about his great grandmother, remember?
Yeah, she got 13 kids, raised all by herself, and she didn't give up. So, why should I?
And he also said to me, every breath we take is a bonus.
Get up, go, get up, go, get up, go, get it, get up, go, get up, go, get up, go, get up, go, get it, get up, go, get up, go, get up, go, get up, go, get it, get up, go, get up, go, get up, go, get up, go, get it. See the light at the end of the tunnel. Never give up. That's my life motto. Through the obstacles, this life that I steer, moving from the past, and now I'm right here. Clouds go by, sometimes it rains. Think about the future when it comes to change. Not past, ever last, never stop climbing. No matter what's in front, don't you ever stop trying. Life is a constant race without a finish line. The dreams that I would chase forever in my mind. Sometimes you win, sometimes you feel like all is lost, and no one's there to hear your thoughts just come across. Stars never stop the shine, it's in your blood. To never slow down when life gets rough. Even if you fall, know you gotta stand tall. Push comes to shove, you gotta give your all.
fortunate. There's no more war, and Singapore is very peaceful. There is enough food to go around. We no longer have to starve, but we should not take it for granted. Till today, I continue to cook and share food with everyone.
It didn't happen overnight. I had to work long hours and to re-establish this trust that I had broken. The groups of people that I've been impacting, ex-convicts, some even serving prison sentence, single moms, physically disabled people, I don't see their disability, but I see their ability. And the officer that helped me during those difficult times, today we are good friends, and he's one of those that is actually working with me together.
When I first started doing this, I was on my own. Over the years, my team grew, and I also started these HIV support groups because the HIV patients can help each other, so can their family members. And that's the reason why I'm still here. The virus does not discriminate, but humans do. It's important the whole community helps out because no one should be left
For me, I will always want to move forward, to be the voice for the community. If the situation is bad, it gives you a chance to make it better, to be great, to fill up that gap, to prove that you can do it. Nobody said it was easy, nothing was really promised. I gotta be really honest with the things that I just witnessed. I see the strength, I see the pain, I feel the fight, just let it rain. I feel the soul, I see the goal, I let it down, let it unfold. So don't you ever give in, see how far the truth comes. Stand as one in Padang, feel the beat of the drums. Stand up, let's see, stand up.
Singapore! Stand up with me right now, rise up as one!
Stand up, let's see, stand up. Stand up, let's see, stand up.
Singapore! If you're ready to party, put your hands up in the sky, wave them left to right, let's go! Stand up for Singapore, do the best you can. Reach out for your fellow man, you gotta make a stand. Recognize you can play your part, let it come right from your heart. Be prepared to give a little more. Left to right, let me see your hands go up in the sky. Stand up, stand up. Stand up for Singapore, do it with a smile. Stand up for Singapore, to find it all worthwhile. Believe in yourself, you got something to share. Show us all you really care. Be prepared to give a little more. Stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up for Singapore. Stand up, stand up for Singapore. Stand up, stand up for Singapore.
Therefore, in thinking about the future, he knows that the dangers faces are real.
If we lack the guts and the gumption to stand up for ourselves, then I say, write it off. Forget it.
But was it after the war and fight for independence came, or it dawned upon me that, yes, why not? We could rule our own country.
Only we may find it worthwhile to fight and die for our country, for our country, for our country, for our country, so that all of us can concentrate our energies and resources for building up.
Houses, enough for the people. Food, enough for the people. Factories, out of the slum. You can do almost everything.
I say it is through a series of stresses and strains that forges a nation out of a group of loosely linked people.
Life was tough during the 60s because what I remember was water rationing and then curfew, and I have to live in the rain.
One of my childhood memories is going to the toilet. At that time, there was a bucket system.
In the kampong and
get together on open spaces and kick about.
Yeah, my father, he's like kampung. He's like head tua kampung.
I mean, drinks in the canteen would like cost 5 cents and noodles like 15 cents.
We'll finish off with teh tarik, the nearest Starbucks store.
My family, my friends, my memories are here.
I look around me and I see.
Feel like home for me.
I wish there was a Singapore identity.
You have to have your own brand. Don't rasa malu, play your own thing, but you have your style.
I want to professionalize. I want to clearly show that I am who I am and because being who I am there. More technologically advanced. I want to keep the talent. I build houses like for just people who could not afford.
So that we can get back some of that YouTube volume.
Actually, I'm very blessed staying here.
And now that dream will become a reality.
stand together, heart to heart. We're going to show the world what Singapore can be. We can achieve, we can achieve. Come on, Singapore! Won't you sing along with me? Here we go!
For we are never done building Singapore. It's every generation's duty to keep on building for our children and for our future.
My mother has always been a pillar of strength for the people around her.
My dad inspires me to be a better person, to never give up hope for a brighter future.
I'm so proud of him. I see his strength more than anything else. When I grow up, I want to be just like him.
These are the stories my grandmother told me, and I'll share with my own children. From generation to generation, this is our story, our home, our Singapore.
Remember the days we sat up together with faith. Remember the times so fine when we thought nothing could stand in our way. Then things weren't the same. Life that we knew had to change.
We struggled through the darkest storms we thought we couldn't take.
Through many years gone by, we've moved ahead together. We've built a brave new world where we could shine and grow.
Now we only have to look towards tomorrow to carry on the dream as far as it will go. So now we look around us and we see
A nation filled with love by you and me.
a land to treasure right down to the core. Our home, our heart, Singapore. built it for the ones that dream. Hand in hand we'll make our land, our home, the place to be.
From young to old, our stories unfold. Moments like these will speak.
Words that last forever, worlds that come together to show that we're all the same. We'll break the chains to make a change.
Burn bright, our lights in flame.
And amazing as it seems, it all started with a dream.
The dreaming is you done, 'cause the best is yet to come.
Deep in my heart, I just know, right from the start, we will grow. Look where we are, we've come so far, and there's still a long, long way to go. With all of my heart, I will care. I'll plant my heart, I will share with family and friends. Together we'll stand, and in the end, hand in hand, we will get there.
Singapore, sing along as we celebrate our home, our heart, our Singapore.
This is home, truly, where I know I must be, where my dreams wait for me, where the river always flows. This is home, surely, as my senses tell me. This is where I won't be alone. For this is where I know it's home. This is home, truly, where I know I must be, where my dreams wait for me, where the river always flows. This is home, shining as my senses tell me. This is where I won't be alone. For this is where I know it's home. For this is where I know it's home. For this is where I know it's
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise to recite our pledge and sing our national anthem together.
We, the citizens of Singapore, pledge ourselves as one united people, regardless of race, language, or religion, to build a democratic society based on justice and equality, so as to achieve
semangat yang baru. Semua kita bersatu, majulah Singapura, majulah Singapura. Marilah kita bersatu, semangat yang baru. Semua kita berseru, majulah Singapura, majulah
Singapore remains standing as we close off NDP 2019. This is where you take out your flags, wave them in the air as we sing some familiar sounding National Day tunes. Yes, Singapore! Singapore makes some noise! Somebody, everybody, together, here we go!
Dr. Ng Hen, our reviewing officer, will now take his leave. Please put your hands together and wish him a very good night.
Saan tayo? Uwi na tayo.